Okay, hello everyone. My name is Juan Gutierrez, and this is a short presentation about my poster to show you what is my project about and what I have done and what is missing to do in this semester and next semesters in matter to finish it. So to start, let's read the title. It is called Material Development to Support Speaking Skill Usage for Vocational Education and Training Students of Tourism. As you can see, this project is in the creation and interpretation modality. Um, when I refer to vocational education and training students, I refer to students who are in 10th and 11th grade. In these courses, they have a kind of relation with SENA to make a course. So this course in this school, República de China, is tourism operation, local tourism operation. So this is the population, the school I'm going to work with. And okay, to start in this part, I have a kind of abstract, a short abstract that explain you what is my project about. So this research project focuses on the creation of a short primer microunity materialized as a pictorial primer. It contains elements like photograph, information items, and local tourist data, exercises planned by us, my friend, my partner, me, and communicative exercises. The material is organized in a kind of a small book in a pragmatic order, thus moving from the simplest information, the simplest exercises to the most complex exercises. Okay, the most important thing in this project, in this creation material, is the images. We consider the images very important because it's a kind of support to take something about to take something about the speaking exercise, the speaking performance in matter. So here I have an introduction adapted to this poster. So in this proposal, it is going to be explained the creation process of visual material, specifically a short illustrated workbook or a primer to support the learning process of English for specific purposes. This is one of I consider this as the most important the most important topic in my research, in my project. Mm, okay, the material has a cultural focus, taking into account especially Bogotá tourism items, for example, relevant places, cultural practices, economical activities, transport, and people. In this case, this document contains statements about English for specific purposes, which refers to specialized knowledge that the studied population has about the local tourism industry. We are working with the professional field, so this is very important. It says, it will allow us to take advantage of this area and support the learner's capacity to create a link using the English language, specifically vocabulary, in the communicative and conversational focus, the speaking skill. This is an overview of my project. So here I have organized a part of the methodology and description in this case. So my project is a qualitative and descriptive project that consists of analyzing the impact of material in class and the achievement of the objectives that are established through observation. The idea of this project is to describe how my material is going to impact their capacity to speak. For example, as I'm doing, speaking skill needs to be improved day by day. And if you have something that you can observe and talk about, for example, in this case, I'm talking of my poster. If I don't have my poster here, probably I can forget a lot of things. I can feel not so sure about what I'm talking about. But if I have my visual support here, I can use that to speak in a better way. So this is what I'm one to prove and one to apply, basically. So I want to describe this process. Then I have the data collection instruments. Those instruments have been already used. I use that since the beginning of my project, not just the application, but the thing, the idea, the main idea of my project. I had those instruments. The teacher's journal. I have applied questionnaires and interviews with my students. I have the teacher field notes, my field notes, and my reflective field notes. I consider those as different kind of field notes because in the first one, teacher's field notes, you can describe the pedagogical intervention, the skills, participation, the students' abilities. But in reflective field notes, you describe how you as teacher can change, can support the students' learning. So I have different kind of field notes. One is the pedagogical one, and the other is like a psychological, like a very deep thinking field note. So this is this part. Okay, let's go to the preliminary results. The results. Obviously, it has not applied my project yet. This is a kind of the data analysis and the things that I have observed before applying the final part of my project. I have preliminary results. So in first place, I have a lack of speaking skill performance. I observed that because when I was starting to analyze the population and the place, I started to test the different skills, to test speaking, reading, and writing, and I observed that they have a very high level, very high level in all skills, but not in speaking skill. So I think that is a lack because they have the level to have this skill. They have the potential, but they don't apply that. So I think that this is one of my results. The second one is the SENA's material is almost known, but the students require an A2 or B1 English level. So this is as what I was telling you before. Teachers want students to have a high level of speaking of English, A2 or B1. Obviously, it includes the speaking skill, but they don't have the material to support this level. As I was telling you, if you want that I explain my project, but I don't have kind of visual aid as I organized here in my poster, it's very difficult to explain. It's very difficult to speak because this is a kind of support to me to explain you my project. So one of the achievements in SENA is to have a A2 B1 speaking English level, but they don't have material. This is my third result that is related to the second. They use just a platform in SENA, and the English courses does not provide enough material, just tasks and exams. In other words, they just can log in Sophia Plus. This is the platform, and this platform just is focused on the tasks, the homeworks, the exams, the test. Just for example, write and complete the sentence, read this text and answer the questions, but they don't have a real A2 or B1 material. They are just completing a platform. A platform is if you look for grammar exercises in English in Google, it's the same. So this is a result that I have found and I consider important. And finally, I have the speaking skill is not evaluated as the other skills are. Oh my god, I have a mistake here. I committed a mistake. Skills, no Achilles. Okay. Other skills are, it refers, when I was doing my first observations, I realized that they have tests for reading, they have a test for writing, they have a test for listening. That is very typical, to write a letter, for example, to listen a song and complete the things, to read a text and answer the questions about the text. But speaking is not evaluated. I think that is because they don't have the support to evaluate that. How can you evaluate a guy in a speaking skill if never in class this guy have spoken, So this is one of those are the results that I have analyzed and have like encouraged me to work in this project. Okay, to continue, I have in this part I have an organization of the stages that I want to divide my project in. Okay, I divided my project in 6 stages. Why? Because I want it, and I want to organize in this way to know how I'm going to work along my bachelor and what I have to do next to each stage. So the first part, the purple letters, the first stage is the data collection. It consists of the first times, the first visit that I have in the school República de China, to observe my population, to observe the school, to observe the classes, to observe the Sena platform. And okay, this is the first stage. In the second stage, I wanted to test my first version of material. So I have a preliminary idea of the first stage, and I wanted to do something to see if this project has a potential, has like an spirit to be done or not. So in the second stage, I do a test of a visual material, not a book, not a primer, just pictures, just letters, just photographies to support the speaking skill. In the third stage, I analyzed and studied the issues to be improved in the prototype. So I wanted to add things to the material that I have tested. I started to study what kind of exercises are needed in these courses, etc., etc. And the fourth stage is basically the same that the third, but in this case, I really adapted the changes. I really took into account like the real meaning of this project. This project started to get formed in this part, to get the shape of a primer and a book. And then I have in blue letters, number 5 and 6, the stages that are missing, and I consider, and okay, I expect to finish that this semester, or as soon as be possible, with the coronavirus, with the strike, with everything is very kind of messy. Actually, not in Bogotá or in Colombia, but in the world. So we have a schedule of stages, 5 and 6, but I don't have applied, and I think that I will not apply it as it was thought because of the lack of classes, the quarantine, etc., etc. So I'm expecting to finish it soon, but I don't really know when. It's the creation of the final version and the application to get the pedagogical interventions, the pedagogical issues that are the conclusions in this modality. So it's missing that part. I don't have conclusions because I don't have applied the real project in terms of what it consists of. So I don't have conclusions yet, but I expect to have it very soon. And this is all for now. This is everything. Thank you so much for observing, and see you. Thank you.